Hello there, Internet. I am Ynsin, and this is the most masculine review for Barbie to come out. Obviously, I'm talking about the 2023 live-action Barbie that just came out, and not any of the awful animated series. Anyway, I'm going to be putting this video together as the definitive survival guide for any boyfriend that's been lured into the movie theaters by their girlfriends. This time it's a movie she wants to see. Or maybe you're just interested in what women enjoy and you want to go see for yourself. Good for you. And don't worry, I will be ensuring through strict quality control that this video is as least gay as it can possibly be. Now, to the survival. The first 10 minutes is intentionally ridiculous. This first establishes the absurdity of imagination being able to influence real-world things. And if you're a dude like me with two sisters, you'll know that this is how most women grew up. Oh no, was that too gay? Here's some deathcore vocals over a doomed gent song I found on the internet. Second tip, Ken is not a boyfriend but a big brother figure and will never get together with Barbie. The movie tiptoes a fine line between brotherly annoyance and incest. This is not weird to women. All most women want is a big brother. Was that also too gay for you? Here's an image of a dog eating a shark while two snakes fight to the death on the beaches of Australia. Okay, next I'm going to address all the pink in the movie. Pink and other shades of magenta are fake colours that your brain makes up when it cannot comprehend the colours that it is looking at outside of the boundaries of the colour spectrum that humans are made for. I personally get an anger response whenever I see magenta. You can completely bypass this by trying to focus on the actors' faces. Is this movie still too gay for your fragile masculinity? Here is an image I photoshopped of a dolphin being impaled by a unicorn while the ocean explodes behind them. Next tip, it's not gay to empathise with the struggles of women. To understand everybody around you makes you a much more grounded and empathetic person, as well as making the people around you feel validated and heard in their lives. There is a reason that women end up with a gay best friend. I wish I had a gay best friend. All I've got is Carl, and he's not really that gay at all. Well, I guess he has his moments. Maybe Carl is gay. If you think Carl is gay, go down into the comments and let me know. We'll put up a poll, and maybe we can kind of sway Carl's sexuality to be one way or the other. That's right, the comment section is now a voting station to change Carl's sexual alignment. Is this still too gay for you? Here's some Pavlovian conditioning to help your feeble male mind overcome the overwhelming femininity that is the Barbie movie. Next up, there are three perspectives as shown in the movie. The first perspective is a little girl's fantasy land. The second are the people who profit from that fantasy land and that imagination in the first place. The third is regular society, and that is where you will be sitting from. Next, Barbie does a really good job of showing what a heavily oppressed and ignored society of men would look like. If this upsets you, then you need to widen your perspective on the realities of life. You are the dick, not the film. Anyway, that is how a man can get through Barbie. I've got a couple of tips as well. If there's something that upsets you and you find sexist in the movie towards men, laugh. You will literally be in a room packed full of women, and if you stand up and say, hey, men aren't like that, then you will not be welcome back in that theatre ever again. So don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that stands up in the theatre and say, hey, men aren't like that. Just don't be that guy. If you can, try laughing. Here's a couple of examples that I would recommend. Yeah. Here's some examples of ones that will not work because they will make you seem ingenuine or sarcastic. She's a woman! Believe me, you do not want to be the man that has just pointed the finger at Barbie and said that is ridiculous while surrounded by a bunch of women expecting the movie to liberate them from the current shackles of their own place in society. That's all I've planned to put in this video. Look, the Barbie movie was actually pretty good. I went into it thinking, hey, I'm not actually going to be the targeted audience for this movie, and I still thought that I would come out of it thinking, you know, even if I was the targeted audience, I would have given it a 7 out of 10, but since I wasn't the target audience, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 10. As it turns out, the movie is actually really good. There is a lot of jokes in there that men get. There's even a lot of jokes in there for parents because, you know, it's pretty clear that someone's daughter is going to pull them away to see Barbie. Overall, going into it, coming out of it, enjoying the whole movie, honestly. I have not only gained a little bit more respect for Disney Princess Ryan Gosling, but also, at the same time, it's an 8 out of 10. I quite liked it. Things that I didn't know going into it, Will Ferrell is in it, Michael Cera is in it, and he's pretty funny on this one. He even gets a fight scene where he kicks a bunch of people's asses. And hilariously, the entire movie does a very good job of showing the perfection of Barbie Land, being run by women and everything's perfect and all that, and then they kind of go into this real world where everything's shitty and run down. Everyone's struggling, basically. Not just men, not just women, everyone is struggling. It's a win for feminism in the sense that it's not violent feminism. I was expecting there to be a lot of misandry, which is the feminist equivalent of misogyny, and there honestly wasn't any. It was a very tasteful movie. I didn't feel alienated whatsoever. I don't think any of the other guys in the audience felt alienated either, neither of them. I'm not joking though, I was one of like 3 men in the audience. It was crazy. Although I would highly recommend going to the movie theater to see it, because even if you don't like the movie, it's a room packed full of women. And the smells alone are delightful. You don't get that with a boys club. You know, it's the kind of smell where if a really pretty girl in a bar walks by you, you go, you know, you would be following that smell all the way home. It's funny, it's witty, it's charming, and I actually quite liked it. If I like it, chances are you'll like it too. It's a thinking kind of movie. Most of it is satire, and don't take it too seriously, especially in the first 10 minutes, because the first 10 minutes are intentionally absurdist. Having said that though, this is probably the best absurdist movie I've seen in the last maybe 5 years. Although I'm saying that the absurdist movies are usually quite hit and miss, usually miss. And there is a difference between absurdist movies and parodies. The difference is usually a budget, so this one has a big budget. It's not a parody of anything. On top of that, they don't take themselves too seriously. Mattel made Barbie and they laugh at themselves the entire movie, so that alone is probably worth a few brownie points. Anyway, if you're trying to pick up girls at the Barbie movie, I would highly endorse not doing that because it's a terrible idea. So at the end of the day, keep an open mind and go in there understanding that the movie appeals to people who like Barbie, people who don't like Barbie, people who hate Barbie, and people who don't really care about Barbie at all. It's a unifying movie in which it used one consistent theme that everybody knows, much like Coca-Cola or Fanta or Donald Trump getting impeached, as a unifying thing to bring people together and just have a good time. Hello there, I'm Ynsin from the future. Well, to you I'll be Ynsin from the past, but I'm definitely more future than I am from the previous Ynsin, who's the past Ynsin to me, and I am future Ynsin to past Ynsin, but current Ynsin to you who are seeing me as past Ynsin. Anyway, it's been a couple of days since we saw the Barbie movie, and there's a couple of things that I want to just let everyone know. First of all, my girlfriend is in a fantastic mood, and she has been for the last couple of days. Aside from a little bout of hanger last night because she was working a little too hard, she's been laughing, she's been joking around. Every interaction that I've had with her has been quite positive since we've seen the Barbie movie. And it's a really nice environment to be in, so even if you didn't like the Barbie movie, you'd probably rather go than not. Second of all, in the last 2 days, I couldn't help but notice a little bit of backlash against some people on TikTok who are calling Margot Robbie mid. Now, anyone who hadn't heard this before, including myself, would know that mid is Zoomer speak for kind of hot, but not really. You know, just average attractive. Margot Robbie is a beautiful woman, as we can see right here. Just very conventionally beautiful. But I'm not particularly interested in her beauty. The thing that really gives me an attraction for her is her skill at what she does. She is a fantastic actor. Anyway, back to these guys who are shit-talking Margot Robbie on TikTok. On one hand, I agree with them, but on the other hand, I don't want anything to do with them because they're wrong. And let me explain myself. I have 2 little sisters. I don't get to see them too much, but I do love them. One of my sisters not only looks like Margot Robbie, but in my opinion looks like an improvement of Margot Robbie. Here she is. She is what boomers would call a bombshell. And make no mistake, I am very, very aware that I have a hot sister. In fact, at the moment, I've currently got 2 hot sisters, because the other one has been a nominee in a radio competition for the hottest tradie in New Zealand. I've been left behind, and I'm now the ugly duckling of the family, which is hilarious because, you know, I'm not that bad looking. The only downside is the mustache, and I've only grown this so that people laugh at my face and not behind my back. Regardless, this one, Jess. If she was born 2,000 years earlier, there would be many Greek statues all around Athens, just showing her. I'm pretty self-aware that I've got hot sisters. I went to a boys' school, so you really couldn't avoid it. Every time somebody would approach me and ask me if they could date my sister, they would follow it up with, God, she's hot. It's just all the things you don't want to hear coming out of a guy's mouth who intends to date your sister. Anyway, going back to the Margot Robbie thing, you know how I said before, you don't stand up in the theater, point at the movie and talk shit about it? Well, it seems like some people on TikTok did exactly that. And now, the women who were entirely unified at the marvel that is the Barbie movie are now entirely unified at collapsing the lives of all of these people, calling Margot Robbie mid. Now I can actually show you exactly what I'm talking about here. I know that The Insider is not a particularly stellar place to get your information, but this one does actually do a pretty good job of telling the story. Some men have decided superstar actor Margot Robbie, one of the most celebrated beauties in show business, isn't actually all that attractive. One critic on Twitter posted a photo of Robbie last week, declaring her definitely mid. That's the latest Gen Z speak for someone who looks average. Now they described Robbie as a hard 7. Now for me, I don't really rate people based on their looks anymore because I grew up with hot sisters and the overexposure. So why would I bother? Why would I bother objectifying somebody? I've always been around beauty. I do not need that luxury around me any longer. I'm attracted to people's personalities. And in terms of personality, I find Margot Robbie a hard 9, like easily a hard 9. She takes herself not too seriously, she has fun, and she's incredibly talented at what she does. The post caught a lot of attention and sparked a backlash on TikTok where many banded together to call out what they say is a delusional attempt to belittle women and tear Robbie down. I don't necessarily agree that this is actually the point. Young men can just be dicks. It's not until your mid-20s that a man ends up salvaging some form of a personality. So I think what we're actually exposed to here is the arrogance of small children thinking that they know the world better than everybody else. However, it's this part that I want to point out, where many people banded together. This is what I was talking about. You don't want to be these guys. People are assuming that this is just an attack on women and the empowerment of feminism. I completely disagree. I still reserve the right to say that this is just stupid kids being stupid kids. I wouldn't be too surprised if any of them turn up dead within a week. There are lots and lots of these going on. Literally, if you just Google Margot Robbie mid, all of these pop out. And I know Insider and Vogue are not entirely stellar sources of news, but there's YouTube videos about it, there's guys talking about it, news.com.au, which I would not trust anyway. Cinema Blend, strangely, is actually a pretty good place to get your news from. They're also talking about it. It's just strange. It's just really, really strange that young men seem to have this expectation that beautiful women are everywhere. And this is just not the case, sadly. Most people hold their beauty in very, very specific, hard-to-reach places. And Margot Robbie certainly does not. So I feel like the recent overexposure in media to hot girls has kind of ruined the novelty of hotness for a lot of men. Either that or Margot Robbie is just not their type. Maybe they like larger women, or maybe they like Asian women, or just something that Margot Robbie clearly is not. There could even be an overexposure to porn, where a lot of porn stars are conventionally beautiful. I'm not saying Margot Robbie is comparative to a porn star, but when you are overexposed to things like Pornhub or X videos, you tend to lose a lot of the value in human interaction. You start seeing people as objects. Now, I'm not defending them. If you want to go out there with pitchforks and impale them on some spikes, then you're more than welcome to. I'm not going to stop you. But these boys are just kind of chasing clout for the sake of it now. But it's so strange, isn't it? Like, Oppenheimer's out, and that's obviously a boys' movie. Can't the boys just stick to the movie that's literally playing in the room right next to the one that their girlfriends want to go see? This is also coming out not too long after Zoomers have declared skinny jeans to look like arse, even though they are in fact the jeans that show off the arse. And apparently corduroy is back. Corduroy has never been in my life. Media has gone in a strange direction. People have been raised on TVs, and now we are seeing the fallout of what that looks like. People have grown up with Netflix, people have grown up with these smartphones, and they don't know anything different. So I guess my review for this movie is pretty obvious. It's a really good movie, but at the same time, like, what the hell is going on with the world? People are so divided about bullshit that just does not matter. If you think someone's beautiful, go up to them and say so. If you don't think someone's beautiful, keep fucking walking. It's not your business. Like, it doesn't matter. It's strange. It's as if these boys think that Margot Robbie is going to come up to them one day and say, hey, can I give you my number? It's not gonna fucking happen. Seriously, like, I highly doubt these guys are gonna get any kind of companionship unless they form some kind of gay club where they all just, you know, get together and share each other around out of a shared hatred of women. Kind of like Andrew Tate's thing. You know, that giant club that Andrew Tate has where people paid lots and lots of money to get into a scam where Andrew Tate says that you don't need women to get far in life, and all of these men never got any women as a consequence. It's so stupid for any man to waste their time on such a mundane thing. If you're just like posting this shit on the internet for attention, you don't deserve to have an account. If you're just using free speech to be a shithead for the sake of being a shithead, then fuck you, get off the internet. Go get a Nokia or something like that. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Thank you for listening if you've listened this far, and I'm coming down. I'm coming down off of my anger. I also keep looking down here because that's where my chat is located. When I stream, so if you want to see me live or have a chat to me, you can go over to twitch.tv/Ynsin, Ynsin, search for my name, it's the same one as on this YouTube channel. Or you could check out the YouTube channel that you are currently watching this video on. On top of this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your click actually means something on my channel. I've got a tiny channel and not a lot of attention. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.